Good morning. This live stream may or may not be for you, but consider this. It's about losing the ones that we love. It's not always easy, but we try our best to cope with it. And the reason I'm talking about this because I know there's some people I know personally that lost some people in their life and whatnot, and there's some folks, who have, hey, what's going on, Candace? Appreciate you. There are folks who have lost loved ones and this has happened for a while, but you just try to cope the best way you can. Morning, Lynn. Appreciate you for coming through. I mean, all I can do is just talk about from my perspective how it was. I know when I lost, some different family members and stuff like that, you never really, get over it sometimes, the fact that people are gone. You just try to remember the good times and, remember the things that they taught you, and just, come at it from a perspective of, teaching and passing on that wisdom to the younger generation or, remembering, how they made you feel, when it comes to a good thing. It's too early to come on. I don't like death and destruction for my coffee. Well, no, this is not death and destruction or drone worship. This is just a reflection, almost a continuation from last night. Yeah, Lynn, appreciate it. I had to get over one death of another one. Yeah, it's not always easy. It's not always easy, but you try to cope with it. You try to deal with it the best way possible. I mean, I'm not here to depress anybody. I mean, I understand if folks don't want to hear this. It's understandable, but I'm just at a place where, I'm just reflecting on it and I know there's people out there who have dealt with that. Give me that 10 minutes to get a coffee system. Yeah, well, listen, it's all good. I'm not going to be on here long. I'm not going to be on here talking about this too much. What's going on, Kim Sue? Appreciate you for coming through. But this is just a real issue right here. Thank you, Storm, for coming through. Appreciate it. Thank you for hitting the like button. What's going on, Beauty on a Budget? Appreciate you for coming through. This is something that we've all faced. We all can relate to this. We all had loved ones and people that we probably weren't ready to, depart from this earth. People that we weren't ready to, leave our lives and stuff like that. And it's not always easy. Sometimes you may think about folks day by day. I know when my grandmother passed away in 2015, it was a challenge. Towards the end of her life, we got closer and I really got to know her and I got to learn a lot about my family. And it was really, sad when, she actually, passed away due to complications with the heart and stuff like that. And, even sometimes today, you still can't believe, that she's gone, but, I still remember the crazy things she used to say and do, whether she's cutting onions in the kitchen or, have her crazy sayings, talk about it, don't be about it, or you can't find what you're not looking for. There's a whole bunch of things that she used to do, her home remedies and stuff like that. If I passed 2000 my grandma in 2016. Yeah, Lynn. So I know so you know exactly where I'm coming from. It's always good to talk about it. Yeah, Storm, you try to talk about it because it's crazy. And my grandmother passed away in 2009. It was rough. My husband died. Oh my God, it took 18 years to go over that. Yeah, Kim, sometimes you never really get over stuff, but it takes time and time hopefully, those wounds heal or, we try to overcome the loss. I mean, things are never really the same when you lose, people that you love in your life. It's never really the same, but you learn to cope with it. You learn to move on and create a new normal, to create a new reality or something like that. You try to, just make the best of what the situation is and stuff like that. And some of us are just so heartbroken that we never really, totally, become, who we need to be, but it's understandable and it's okay. It's okay to be heartbroken. It's okay to take time to get over those people that we love, being gone from this earth because it's a dramatic thing. Yeah, but Candace, a lot of people are like that. Even when me losing my grandmother, it still affects me to this day. Maybe more nuanced, maybe more subtle ways it may come, but it is what it is. I was lost my mom, devastated. I lost my stepson. It's a whole new level because it's the natural progression of things. Yes, Beauty on a Budget. It is a natural progression of things. It is a natural progression to where, you realize and you gain, understanding from the fact that, as crazy as it sounds, death is a part of this existence. But, no matter how many times, we experience it with people that we lose, it's like you're never ready for it. You never really, it's so sudden. It comes without warning. It's never like, okay, I know this person's gonna go. I see, they're sick, and then I'm prepared. You prepare yourself as much as you can. But when somebody goes, especially when you love them and you care about them, you never really know how you're gonna take it. We like to believe. I like to say I'm strong and nothing's gonna affect me. But when my grandmother went, it really bothered me. And when I had other people in my life that passed away, in years prior, it really shocks you. How much you can really be taken aback by that loss. It's like I remember one of my aunts passed away, and I used to go and get ice cream over by her house or whatever. People know where to go. Like they go loose. Yeah, tied up loose ends. The void is huge. I remember one of my aunts passed away. This is many years ago. I was still a teenager, and I used to go to her house for ice cream, and we used to talk, and we used to just really chop it up about life. My aunt, Catherine. And I remember when she passed away, and it didn't really hit me until one day I wanted to go over there, for ice cream, or I wanted to go over there just to talk to her. And I realized, I said, wow, she's not there anymore. It took me a second. It really took me a second. This was like years after she died. I was like, wow, I remember I used to go over there. We used to talk. We just to chop it. She lived in a dangerous neighborhood too. You could get shot just going up to, just going up to see her. And I love my aunt and I cared about her so much it didn't matter. All right, if I got beat up or shot or, you're in a dangerous project or whatever the case may be, I was just like, all right, cool. You go there to see your family. But I remember when she was gone, it was a void, Beauty on a Budget. It was definitely a void. You realize that because there's experiences, there's things that we do with people that, once certain family members are gone, you just kind of don't feel comfortable, doing those things with other people, or maybe folks don't understand, and you don't want to say you lost a piece of yourself, but sometimes it can feel like you lost a piece of yourself, at least for me. I can't speak for anybody else. I mean, of course, that's what it is. Okay, Bella, got you. You know, yeah, I know you from Random. I know you from Random Life. She just said, just speak your mind. I know you speak your piece, but it's wild. It's wild. I mean, it's something that you learn, you try as you might. I don't care what anybody says. It's really challenging sometimes to prepare to lose a loved one, to prepare to lose somebody that you care about. We could sit there, we could put the wills together, we could, put the funeral plan in, you could get the doctors, the hospice care, the home health aides, the medicine, the last rites, the arrangements, whatever it is that you do. And sometimes it still seems like, you're not prepared for the emotional impact that it may have on your life. We're ready for the absence, for the void. I still forget it when I'm going through my ancestors well visit in my dreams. Yeah, nah, that's definitely awesome, Candace. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes you do have that. May the stories of this one go echo, and at once they touch dropped into show this love of channel supporting. Thank you, Creative Redundancy. I appreciate you. I definitely appreciate you. This is a little bit more sensitive topic, and I understand that folks don't want to hear this, because I don't want to stir up any, negative emotions or, too much, for folks. So I totally get if this is not something that you want to get into or you want to explore, because it's not easy for everybody, but this is something that I felt the need to reflect and talk about because of some things going on, personally with me and some other people that I know as far as, stuff is happening with them losing loved ones and whatnot. So I send thoughts and prayers, out to different folks that have lost people in their life. Yes, people handle death in their own way. And it's important to understand and know that unless, with the rare exception, unless you're going out there to harm another person physically, there's nothing wrong with you, being distraught and emotional. There's nothing wrong with you taking time to yourself. There's nothing wrong with people saying, hey, I just need a few minutes just to take this in. I need time just to get back to myself. A lot of times when we go through stuff, people want us to put on a brave face and smile and tough it out and, struggle it and get it back on. If you need time to mourn, you need time to mourn. Sometimes it takes people years, years to mourn, Yeah, I mean, it may be a generation, somebody, just never got over it. and it happens that way, then it's okay. It's like Lynn was saying, everybody takes their time to mourn in different ways. Everybody handles death in different ways. Again, it's going to deal with an important topic in life. I think it's really important to discuss these things. Yeah, they are part of life. They are part of life, fella. They are. And a lot of times, people may feel like, they can't deal with it. They're alone. That they're facing stuff by themselves. And I'd say to those people that have lost loved ones, you're not alone. There are people out there who understand. There are people out there you can talk to. I'm one of them. Some of the people in this chat, there are people out there that could definitely relate to losing loved ones. We all can relate to losing people that we love. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter your background, where you come from. It is a universal experience. Just to understand. Hey, you lost a grandmother, lost a husband, lost a son, lost a cousin, lost a lover, mistress, whatever. It all relates. It all means something. It's part of the human condition, the larger picture. And there's nothing wrong with mourning. There's nothing wrong with being sad and being upset. And if someone needs to chat and share a story, I can offer that. Time to listen. It'd be tough. Yeah, no creative redundancy. It can be tough for any of us, but it takes time. It just like people have been echoing in this chat. When it comes to dealing with those that we love, it takes time. And, everybody has to be able to deal with it in their own way. The only thing I'll say to people is don't get destructive. Don't destroy your body. Don't destroy yourself. Even though I understand that as well, too. I mean, don't get to, a large drinking bin or drugging or whatever the case may be, or, having unprotected sex and, crazy stuff like that. But, there's definitely, like I said, if you need time to mourn, take your time to mourn. Just as long as you're not using that time to, be destructive towards yourself or those people around you, So, it comes to that situation, it is a real serious thing, but it leaves a void, like it's been said in this chat, and it takes time, it takes time. I think as a consequence, it's good for us to show the human side of all the review channel and much more than powder and lipstick. Yeah, Bella, well, I mean, listen, life is a lot more than just powder and lipstick, especially for a beauty channel. Beauty channel, what I like about the beauty channels, Bella, is when they get on there and they do the whole makeup tutorials and the beauty stuff, right? But then they talk about the issues that they face with self-esteem and, vanity and, standards of beauty. That stuff, as somebody on the outside looking in, I'm not a beauty channel person, I definitely like those channels when they start talking about how it took time to build up the confidence, or how it's not all about the makeup and stuff like that. So there's definitely a lot of substance out there to be tackled and dealt with, even on a beauty channel. Just like on a serious channel, like a serious channel like mine, there's still a lot of fun things to get into. You laugh, you cut up, you joke, you do all that stuff. So it's about finding a balance regardless of what your channel is and whatnot. But definitely, it's the human experience, tackling, all the things that happen and go on, in life, and me just talking about losing loved ones is necessary to at least touch on it. I'm not trying to go too deep. I'm not trying to, give a psychoanalyzation of, the loss of loved ones and whatnot. This is just me speaking my opinion, my voice, my truth, just, giving my reflections on it. And it's tough. It's tough, it's tough. I've covered divorce, jealousy, low self-esteem, and many other topics. They are some of the most viewed videos. Yes, Bella. I mean, these are things that people face. We could do the fun stuff. I'm not saying anything, against people doing the fun stuff. You come on there, you do the fun stuff, you do the stuff that's gonna, get people excited about things and make them laugh and smile, or whatever the case may be. But it comes to a point where, you want to talk about things that, people are really facing. It's like, people know how to, have fun and cut up. You don't need me to do that. But then the question is, who's talking about real issues? Who's talking about things that are, relevant? Not to say that the other stuff isn't relevant. Who's talking about things that are, like a little bit more sensitive? Because people have real conversations, and real things happen in people's lives. And sometimes we need to know. We need to look into the world, and we need to know, even if it's across the pond in England or Australia or Canada or whatever, we need to know that there are real people out there going through real things. I want to be real. I can't be doing with plastic people. Yeah, well, Bella, it happens. The plastic people have their place. I'm not going to tell them they have to disappear. they serve a purpose. Everybody serves a purpose, I guess. But it's not up to me to determine somebody else's purpose, plastic or not. But for the most part, it is important to tackle issues that, address and deal with the human condition, not just, deal with the high and mighty and, and the beautiful and, the seemingly perfect stuff. There's people out there that's really struggling with some things. There's people out there really going through stuff. And sometimes, you don't want to be heavy-handed about it. That's what I'll say about it. With me, I try not to be heavy-handed about it. Once upon a time, I was. It may seem like I am. I can stay a long time, enjoy your time. Yeah, thank you, Creative Redundancy. I appreciate it. It may seem like I'm heavy-handed when you look at my channel and you hear the stuff that I'm talking about, but I'm very careful with how much I go into it and how deeply I go, into certain subjects and stuff like that. What's going on, Lulu? Appreciate you for coming through live from Nova Scotia. But yeah, it's just important to get into, these topics and whatnot, especially when it comes to losing loved ones. It can be, something, it can be one of those things where, it just takes time. It takes time. You just need that space, to be where you need to be and work it out, because it does leave a void, in our hearts, thinking about people that were there for us. A lot of times when we're going through situations, we may have had that person that, we used to confide in. They were like our confessor, or that person we could just talk to and they would tell us a story, or they would cook us a meal, or, we would watch this TV show. Like one of the things I used to do with my grandmother was we used to watch Home Shopping Network, and it was funny. You could just picture me sitting there with my grandmother watching Home Shopping Network in the middle of the day. It was funny, but it was something we used to do. Now it's kind of hard. I mean, I don't really sit down and watch Home Shopping Network, but it is what it is. Yeah. No, I have not, Bella. I have not, but I need to look into it. I need to look into it. But it is what it is. Price is Right. Yeah, I even watched Price is Right with my grandmother before too. Game over. But it's just these things that we used to do with those people that we love. When then, you miss folks. In times when you're going through something or things are happening, and you just used to have these crazy conversations, or you listen to how they came from a simpler time, or you have a favorite friend, or you have somebody you used to chill with, or whatever the case may be, or somebody in your life that was just so much a part of what you did. And sometimes it's like you still can't believe they're gone. I have people that are gone and passed away, still can't believe they're gone. And then there's the whole thing about trying to be on the right terms with people. I've had people who passed away who we were on shaky terms, but you want to make sure you're in the right space with people and whatnot, and you're in the right space mentally yourself. It's challenging. There's a lot of different things when it comes to that. And it's Destiny. I used to just fall asleep. But yeah, those are cool shows. And rest in peace to your mother. Rest in peace to her. But it's important. And then we learn, which is the scary thing, is sometimes when we losing our loved ones, we become these figures. We become these pillars. We become these fillers of voids for other generations. I become, those people I've been looking up to. I become, those matriarchs or patriarchs of the family and stuff like that. We become like that, So it's like as an older generation passes away, we become that. Yes, Candace, I appreciate it. Peace to you as well. Thank you for being here, even if it's for a second, for a minute. Thank you for the thumbs up. Don't worry, I'm about to get up out of here myself and soon too. I would just probably give it another minute or so, but for the most part, like I said, I wasn't trying to get too heavy-handed with it. I'm glad just to have this conversation with you folks. I didn't know I was going to go over, because I know this is a sensitive subject, and I know a lot of people may or may not want to talk about this. This may or may not be for you, but losing loved ones is a sensitive subject, because there's people that are really affected by this. There's a lot of people that really have folks that they miss. Sometimes you have only that one person in the world that you felt like you could talk to, and when that person is gone, what do you do? How do you cope? Thank you, Kim Sue. Thank you, I appreciate that. And all I can say to folks is it takes time. It takes time. It takes that space. it takes that, that necessary, I don't know, that necessary, X factor that's missing, whatever that is, to find that peace in your heart, that love that you've been missing, and we all have different ways of coping with it, but we all need that, and on this note, I'm going to get up out of here, and I respect your time. Thank you as always, folks. Be safe out there. Spread love. It's the Brooklyn way.